How do you think what will happen if a child is subjected to violence from a very young age, humiliated and neglected altogether? The question is rhetorical, but what will happen if this is posted on the internet and broadcasted for many years? Well, it will be a disaster.
Убили пистолетом! Убили! Лечить нихуя нельзя, когда вы все фенила будете... Что это за хуйня, твою мать? Не бей меня!
Дай, ты ваш ребенка он уже заткнул даже. Дай телефон.
Почему дизлайк?
Today we will talk about a hero of the deep internet under the nickname Komputersem. Disputes with parents, fights with his mother, yelling, screaming, scandals, and other horrors that have recently gained widespread attention and some kind of hype on TikTok, YouTube, etc. To dive into this, let's start from how it all began. Kirill Samsonov was born on March 5th, 2024 in the city of Shakti, where even now, crime is rampant. In 2015, he began to share his life with the world, showing his home, toys, and console. This is quite confusing how he went from this average little kid to this. At first, he went to an ordinary school where he had few real friends. But after 6th grade, his mother put him in a school for children with disabilities, where he was subjected to severe bullying. In 2016, his channel featured clips of games recorded on his phone, in which you could see the high sensitivity of the Komputersem. Even if there was nothing unnatural there, gradually his videos began to acquire a trashy character. In 2018, another child was born to the Samsonovs, and from that moment on, Kirill's sanity began to finally deteriorate. As it usually happens when a second child is born, the eldest is given almost no attention and upbringing. But when you consider that even before that, the parents had neglected him, to put it mildly. Around this time, we can see Kirill slowly losing his mind and starting to show things in his videos that he really shouldn't have. Most likely it was because his parents didn't care at all about what their son was doing. Violent reaction. It was the only thing that got his parents to pay attention to him, and that was only to beat him up and yell at him so he'd finally calm down. Between 2018 and 2020, Kirill developed a very specific, strange habit. Imagine that every time you go out on the street, you are switched to the mode of counting cars according to special criteria, because of which you do not pay attention to the rest of the world at all. Some cars annoy you, and others can make you laugh. Emotions are stronger and cannot be held back. Of particular note are the unusual words that Komputersem began to use during this period.
Убили пистолетом! Убили пистолетом! Убили пистолетом!
This is echolalia, a phenomenon when unusual phrases are used by autists to express emotions. TikTok clips or videos of Kirill and his mother yelling and beating each other are pretty popular in Russian internet. Despite being disturbing, many found it funny and kept sharing it. What seems like a random kid screaming on TikTok is actually not funny at all when you dig deeper. Meet Kirill's mother, a tyrant, a disgusting person, and a perfect example of how not to raise your child, especially one with autism, having seen the material from Komputersem's channel. I was in total shock because I couldn't even imagine that such content could be publicly available. Despite his diagnosis, Kirill did very well in school and wanted to become a programmer. As we know, autism doesn't take away your full ability to achieve something in life. For example, he has shown multiple times that he can easily create a simple game. It's no problem for him, but at the same time, his mother didn't give a damn about her son and didn't care for him at all. What his interests are, who he wants to become, she didn't care. He'll grow up somehow. That's his problem, really. Kirill's life is filled with continuous violence, humiliation, fights, yelling, screams, and other things that shouldn't happen in a normal family. This lady failed in raising her son, and I think she didn't even try and didn't want to, but for a brief moment, she tried to connect with her son, and there was even a video they recorded together.
Привет, дорогие друзья, с вами Komputersem на канале Komputersem Channel. Уверен, что телефоны хорошие, против обычные, против
On his most
плохих,
ordinary
против
videos,
рабочих.
where he starts screaming, she tried to calm him down and said something like, "It's okay. Everything will be fine. Don't worry. You'll manage." She showed fake interest in what her son was doing, and this naturally didn't last long. Then the various fights, yelling and screaming resumed, as I mentioned earlier. From this, we can conclude that his mother's
I don't give a fuck
mentality had a direct effect on Kirill, turning him into a typical withdrawn person. Who gets angry when he doesn't get a chest in Clash Royale? Or because he can't access a website with TV series due to age restrictions?
18+. Вот это все брехня.
As for Kirill's audience, it was full of negativity. At times, he could accidentally reveal details of a social network, and he would get hacked without hesitation, blackmailed, and even scammed for money. Everyone tried to provoke him into some sort of reaction, a lot of people unsubscribing, writing angry comments, disliking his videos, and more. All this just to make Kirill scream in his next video and say 100 times that he was leaving YouTube because he felt betrayed. When will you finally get it, you idiots? His audience deliberately baited him for these reactions because such emotions easily go viral on TikTok and YouTube clips everywhere, really. People like it when kids scream, rage, and so on. His father never understood why he made YouTube videos and constantly deleted them. There were so many channels that even your 11th finger couldn't help. This didn't bother Kirill. He kept creating new channels, and his audience quickly found them and did the same nasty things, sometimes even going overboard. After the situation became widely known, the videos where he screamed and raged over minor things suddenly disappeared from his new channel. I suspect someone stepped in, and his parents were forced to fully control what he uploaded. Most of the videos now don't even have his voice. They are videos of him traveling somewhere, passing levels in Geometry Dash or Brawl Stars, surprisingly, without any aggression. Who knows what's happening behind the scenes now, but I dare to guess that it's the same as before. Kirill is under total control and simply cannot show what's happening in his family at the moment. The videos are still being posted, but without the content we used to see. In his video, Morj mentioned that Kirill's relationship with his parents is now better and that things are more or less okay. At the slightest request, he can stop recording and doesn't react so sharply to losing in games. This might be true, but it's hard to believe that their relationship has truly improved. Who knows what's happening behind the scenes now, but I dare to guess that it's the same as before. Kirill is under total control and simply cannot show what's happening in his family at the moment. The videos are still being posted, but without the content we used to see. In his video, Morj mentioned that Kirill's relationship with his parents is now better and that things are more or less okay. At the slightest request, he can stop recording and doesn't react so sharply to losing in games. This might be true, but it's hard to believe that their relationship has truly improved. Returning to the audience, I can say that there's almost no negativity now. Most comments are kind words, and everything is surprisingly normal. People don't bully him as they used to, which is certainly a relief. So, what's the conclusion of this story? A person who lived in extremely terrible conditions found something to do to distract himself from reality, but faced extreme bullying, both online and, I'm sure, in real life too. I can confidently say that Kirill's life is ruined. He won't be able to socialize properly or realize his dreams and live a normal life because autism is not the end of one's life. There are countless examples of people achieving great heights despite autism. The main problem was that he grew up in horrible conditions, in a terrible city with parents who completely neglected him and didn't treat him as a living person, but more like a dirty spoon lying around. This is a sad story that shows how cruel today's children, who bullied him, can be. Modern school children have far more opportunities than we did, and they feel safe while bullying someone as a group, not realizing how much harm they're doing. Kirill considered his subscribers friends, but these friends just spat in his face and caused him continuous suffering. On the other hand, this story serves as a lesson on how not to raise and treat your child, especially if they have a diagnosis.